Hello everyone, my name is Rohit. Today we are going to discuss about the ring problem. So basically what's a ring problem? There is a ring which is uniformly charged. As we can see, a charge Q is uniformly distributed on its circumference. This ring has radius A. The ring is along the y-axis as we can see, and the axis of the ring OP is along the x-axis. So we can see from the figure. We need to find the electric field at point P, which is at a distance x from the center of the ring. Now, since the charge which is uniformly distributed along its circumference, so we can define a quantity which is called linear charge density. We can define linear charge density, that is represented by lambda, and this is defined as the total charge divided by the total length. So what is the total charge? That is Q. What is the total length over which the charge is distributed? That is equal to the circumference of the ring, which is equals to 2 pi A. And this is constant because A is fixed and Q is fixed for a given distribution. So that's why we have lambda. Now, to calculate the electric field at a point P, what we have to do, since this type of distribution is called continuous charge distribution, so what we have to do, we have to consider an element. This is called an elemental charge. This is called an elemental charge, represented by dq, having length dl, closing some amount of charge dq. So we need to calculate what is the amount of charge enclosed within this elemental charge. Let us find what is dq. So since we have defined lambda, what is lambda? It's a charge per unit length. So dq will be given by lambda into dl. Lambda is charge per unit length multiplied by the length of this elemental ring, that will give us the charge on that elemental part. Therefore lambda into dl. Okay, and lambda is basically q over 2 pi a into dl. Now let us join the distance from the elemental charge to the point P of distance r. We assume that the distance from this elemental charge to the point P is r. What is r? Since we can see from this right angle triangle, r is basically given by under root of a square plus x square. Now we know due to this charge dq, we can have an electric field at point P which is very small. So we know electric field at point P due to elemental charge dq. is given by dE, which is equals to dq divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. So it is dq whole divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So what is r square? So we can take, since r is under root of a square plus x square, so r square will be a square plus x square. So therefore we can put a square plus x square. So this is the electric field due to this elemental charge at point P, and its direction will be in this direction. This is your dE. So this is, since we have assumed the charge to be a positive charge, so this elemental charge, which is also a positive charge, will repel the test charge which is present at this point P in this direction. So let us assume this angle to be theta. This angle will also be theta. dE, since electric field is a vector quantity, so it can be resolved into two components, one along the axis, another perpendicular to the axis. So component along the x-axis will be given by dE cos theta, and the component which is perpendicular is given by dE sin theta. Now, so this is the electric field due to this elemental ring of the ring of radius A. To calculate the total electric field at point P, we have to consider all that elemental charge on the ring and just add the contribution from each of the elemental charge at this point. So since calculus helps us to consider just one elemental charge, we calculate the electric field due to this elemental charge, and to calculate the total electric field, what we have to do, we simply have to integrate over the circumference of the ring. So what we need to do, so we can also see at this point what we have. So if we consider, so let us consider another, if we consider another elemental charge over this part, which is just diametrically opposite of the ring, what will happen? Now this part will also contribute to electric field in this direction. It will still have two components, one along the x-axis and the other along the y-axis, right? So what we can see, all the sign components will get cancelled. So for every elemental charge there is another elemental charge opposite to it, which will contribute only the cosine part of the electric field, which is along the x-axis. All the sine part will get cancelled in the vertical direction. So therefore the total electric field at point P is given by, therefore total electric field at point P is given by, so total electric field E is given by, so how do we calculate total electric field? So what we need to do, we have to add all the components, we have to add all the cosine components due to all the elemental charge considered on the ring. So for that, what we have to do, we have to integrate dE cos theta. Since we have considered only elemental charge, single elemental charge, we are doing the calculation from the single elemental charge. So just considering a single elemental charge, it will have only one component dE cos theta. So total electric field at point P will be given by the integration of dE cos theta, and the limits goes from 0 to 2 pi a. Since we have considered only single elemental charge, so when it go around the ring, it will cover a total distance of 2 pi a. So the limits goes from 0 to 2 pi a and dE cos theta. This will give you the total electric field. This will give you total electric field at point P due to this entire distribution of charge. Therefore 0 to 2 pi a. What is dE? We have dq by 4 pi epsilon naught a square plus x square cos theta. Okay, so we have 4 pi epsilon naught is constant, a is constant, x is also a constant quantity. So that is, we have been told to calculate the electric field at point P, which is at a distance x. So for a given point, x is constant. So that's why 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Let us take this quantity outside. 0 to 2 pi a. dq can be written as lambda into dl. dq, lambda into dl. And what is cos theta? Cos theta is given by as b by h. So we have cos theta is b, which is x, by h, which is r, and r is basically under root of a square plus x square. So we can directly write a square plus x square. We have a square plus x square already over here, and we have this half from this r. So therefore we have 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now lambda is constant, so it will come outside. Integral 0 से 2 pi x by a square plus x square to the power 3 by 2 into dl. Now since x is constant, so it will also come outside of the integral. This quantity is also constant, so these quantity will come outside of the integral, and only dl is a variable along the ring, because elemental charge is going through the entire circumference. So dl will vary over the ring, so dl will be inside the integral, and therefore we have field is equals to lambda into x whole divided by 4 pi epsilon naught a square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. Integral goes from 0 to 2 pi a into dl. This is lambda into x divided by 4 pi epsilon naught a square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. Integral goes from L 0 to 2 pi a. This becomes lambda into x divided by 4 pi epsilon naught a square plus x square to the power 3 by 2 into 2 pi a. Therefore lambda into 2 pi a into x whole divided by 4 pi epsilon naught a square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. Lambda into 2 pi a will give you total charge q into x whole divided by 4 pi epsilon naught a square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. This is a total electric field at a distance x from the center of the ring. If x is equals to 0, that is at the center of the ring, then electric field becomes 0. In vector form you can write, since the total electric field is along the x-axis, therefore electric field vector can be written as q into x divided by 4 pi epsilon naught a square plus x square to the power 3 by 2 into I cap. This is the general expression for the electric field due to ring problem. Thank you so much.